I'm out here at the range today to do some testing on one of my smokeless muzzleloaders. This one's built on the Remington 700 ML Action. The barrel on this particular rifle has a barrel shank of 1.250 inches, about 5 inches long, so we can handle a little bit more pressure with this rifle. Our goal today is to try to achieve a velocity of Mach 3, which is about 3,374 feet per second, give or take a few. So I have some powder already loaded up here. Hopefully you're going to be able to see the velocity on the monitor right here. And let's see what we can get today. I put my loader tube into the muzzle brake. Need a funnel. And I have pre-measured out some Reloader 17, which is a slow magnum type powder. So I'm going to put 160 grains in here, which is a lot of powder. That's about twice what we could use if we're going to go for a little bit slower velocity. And here I have my 300 grain Parker BE, which is ballistic extreme bullet. It's got a thin jacket about 15 thousandths of an inch thick, so it swells up when we fire this thing. Load that through my tube, get it started. Should be snug, but we should not have to use a hammer to pound it down. That one's about right. I'm going to jiggle the powder charge a little bit, make sure it went all the way down. Okay, bullets down. Don't forget to take out your loader tube, or it'll go down range also. Now we have our brass primer module, and we're going to load that. That's got our large rifle magnum primer on it, and that's our ignition device. We'll load that in our bolt slot. And this rifle has some parts that I bought from Arrowhead Rifles. The bolt head and these modules came from Luke at Arrowhead. Okay, I'm on safe. Put my earmuffs on. And one of the advantages of this brake is it has a disc on it, and that helps to knock the muzzle blast off of the shooter. It won't help people who are standing inside, but the shooter is kind of behind this disc. So let's see what we can come up with here. This is the first one. Not sure exactly where it's going to go. I'm shooting at a steel plate at 300 yards. I'm a hole dead center. I've never shot this load before, so we'll see. Try to get my scope level before we can't. Here we go. I hit the target, and our velocity, it says, is 3488. Not bad. That's about 100 feet per second higher than what we wanted. I hit the target. Looks like the bullet came apart down there. All right. See what our primer module looks like. Primer module looks okay. No leakage. That's good. All right, we'll try it again. loader tube. .160 grains of reloader 17. It's about 95 degrees outside today, so maybe that's why we got more velocity than I expected. Okay, I'm going to load one of these Parker 300 grain ballistic extreme bullets down through here. Got a little bit of fouling this time. It might be a little bit tighter. It is tighter, but we don't need a hammer to get it down. We want it snug, but we don't have to stand on it to get it in the barrel. Okay, that one's down. Our primer module. Make sure it's on safe. Yep, it's on safe. Let's see what we can do on number 2. Second shot. First number we got is 3488. See what we get this time. That was Mach 3 plus. Here we go. Second shot. A little bit more foul, might get a little bit more velocity, we'll see. Glad we got that muzzle brake on there to remediate the recoil. That muzzle brake cuts the recoil down to about half. Here we go. 300-yard target. I did hit the target. That time we got 33.45, so our velocity was a little bit less that time, and it did hit a little bit lower. I'm going to say it's about 3 inches lower on the target. Look at our primer module. Looks okay. No leakage. Put it on safe. Let's see what we get on number 3. I put a piece of red tape on these loader tubes. I did have one customer that shot his down range, but it didn't hurt his gun, thank goodness. 160 grains of reloader 17. Make sure the powder goes down. It's important for good ignition. Okay, we're going to use another 300 grain Parker Ballistic Extreme. And I sized these bullets on Jeff Hankins' bullet sizer I got from him. Seems to work real good. Let's get her started. Snug. That one didn't seem to be quite tight. Alright, here we go, all the way down. These bullets seated. You kind of check on here, make sure you're doing about the same. That's about 6 inches. You can mark them if you want to, measure them. You do want the bullet to be all the way down. Make sure you take that out. Fresh primer module. On safe. Here we go. Shot number 3. We didn't quite make Mach 3 that time. Let's see what we get this time. Here we go. Shoot 300 yards. Try to hold the same place. Got the can out with my scope level. See what we get this time. Good there. Here we go. Got a pretty good group going on there. Looks like that one hit the last bullet. Okay, that one was 3303. Again, we're under Mach 3, but we're close to it. The last 2 hits look like they're touching each other at 300 yards. So that's the first group we shot. We'll shoot a couple more, see what happens. Primer module looks okay again. All right, loader tube. $160 grains, a reloader 17. Slow magnum powder. All right, next we're going to load one of these Parker bullets. This is one I sized on my sizer, which is a little bit different, but works the same way. Just barely squeezes the bullet down. Snug, but we don't have to bang it in there with a hammer, so that's about right. People argue about how tight they should be. They should not be so loose they fall out, but they do have to stay in the bore when you move the gun around. Okay, here's our primer module. All right, this is a primer module I've used before. Let's see if that makes a difference. Some of these primer modules I'm using are brand new. They've never been fired before. Here we go. Steel target, 300 yards. Got a big old blob down there together at 300 yards. That one was 3310. I'll take that. I'll take it. Muzzle blast blowing my stuff off the table, which was expected. Oh, we don't lose anything, we'll be okay. Power module looks fine. here we go with shot number 5. .160 grains, reloader 17. Right down. 300 grain Parker BE size for this Brux. 1 in 20 twist barrel. Got this barrel from Arrowhead. I got this barrel because it's pretty heavy. I wanted to see what we could do with some Magnum loads. Okay, bullets all the way down. All right, I believe this is the 5th shot. Barrel's getting a little bit warm. All right, we're on safe. Here we go. Last shot. Magnum load. 45 caliber, 120 Twist Brux barrel. Let's see what we get this time. Group is pretty good down there. It's just one big blob. Most of them are in that same group. First one was a little bit high because we had more velocity. Okay, here we go. Aim in the same spot. Yep, spot just got bigger. 33-24. Okay, most of our shots are a little bit under Mach 3, but for the first time we shot this load, we'll have to go with that. I have a program called QuickLoad, which calculates the pressure based on a given load and the weight of the bullet. So that load was supposed to be about 9% under the maximum pressure for a 458 Win Mag. And most of the manufacturers have said that around 62,000 PSI is supposed to be the max for a 458 Win Mag. So this is about 9% from that. So I stayed down a little bit. So we got a little bit more work to do, but we collected some good data. We've got a group down there at 300 yards, which is about that big. Not bad for shooting a 45 caliber bullet at that velocity. That would have hammered a deer. Every single shot would have hammered a deer if we'd held it on the right spot. So that's the conclusion of our first test, trying to achieve Mach 3, which we did on the first shot. Okay, this is the group that I shot trying to shoot Mach 3. The first one had the highest velocity. It's about 3 inches or so above the rest of them. Most of the shots, even counting that one, were in a group of about 4 inches or so at 300 yards. So that's what we're looking for when we're after the kind of accuracy required to take down a deer at long range. We got about a 1 MOA accuracy, even at 300 yards. And I haven't even tweaked this load this first time I shot it, so pretty happy with that.